Hey, what's up, everyone? Gonna be doing another video with Rogues today. I still love the deck in the format right now. Not too many matchups I don't like. If you watched the video yesterday, the Rakdos matchup is probably your closest matchup, and it's still definitely winnable with maybe a couple adjustments and some tighter play. We definitely could have won. Even made a small change to try and combat like decks like that. I cut the Essence Scatter for the second Low Mage's domination in the main deck. I'm very strong against like Kroxa. Essence Scatter felt a little weak right now. So I think this is a change I'm pretty happy to make. Let's get into it. Save the change. I do genuinely think this deck is great. You sort of just need to know how to approach matchups. Can be a little tricky sometimes, but happy to provide any insight I can. Hopefully teach everyone a thing or two. A little bit of a dicey hand, but I think I'm going to keep. Strong against a creature deck. Their Lurrus deck, maybe a mirror. Could also be the Rakdos Lurrus deck that top baited the SEG last week. I'll go ahead and keep. There's definitely a borderline hand though. One of the at the bottom of my range for keeps, I would say. Especially with like a synergy based deck where you have like enablers and payoffs, and with the new Mulligan rule. I'll probably hammer this point home a lot in my videos. Just like really, just don't settle for bad hands. Alright, so like they're like the Jeskai Spells deck, I guess. Kind of weird that they would be. I've seen that deck a little. Kind of weird they would be Lurrus though, because I think the appeal to that deck is Showdown of the Scalds. It's interesting. Could be cycling maybe too. Let's see what's up. Go ahead and Valky them. Okay, they are cycling. That makes sense. Take the Rescuer. It's way more annoying if they get a 1-1 than if they deal 1 damage and we have removal spells. Also, we can turn Valky into a 3-1, faster clock. This matchup's fine. It is obviously very tricky where we're actively milling them and powering up their Zenith Flare. Overall, I beat this deck more than I lose to it, but you do get cheesed out sometimes. Finding counterspell is incredibly important. I mean, like, it's really just the entire game. It's just counterspells for Zenith Flare. You're never going to lose to Flourishing Fox or the random chafe like this. It's whether or not you get Zenith Flared for 15 or you don't. Yeah, like Ruin Crab, normally not too good to play. Depending on the situation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so best way to maximize damage will also. Alright, so we could Crab, Fabled Passage, Bloodchief's Thirst. That would let us get in for 5 this turn. But we would mill them for 6. Or we could Bloodchief's Thirst, change Valky. We get in for 4. But then we. I think it's actually. We're just going to try and kill them, I guess. So I said this. I think just getting it for more damage is going to be better. A little risky, but I just want to have the fastest clock possible, and hopefully we find a counterspell. Like, if we don't find a counterspell for this, we're not going to win anyway. So I'm trying to just maximize this turn we'll get for one more damage than we would have the other way, and then the following turn we can still do this. So I am actively milling them, which is a little bit bad, but again, I think it's going to come down to whether or not we find a counterspell in time anyway. So I'd like to maximize my pressure at least. So what is this currently at? No, it doesn't tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, only at 7. That's 8. So I have like 2 turns for it basically. 9. Put them to 8 here, then we'll have lethal. We gotta hope they don't have an untapped land or something. I'm just gonna pass, not gonna play the land. Really hope they have like a triome here. Alright, so they have the untapped land for Zenith Flare. It's really annoying, it doesn't tell you how much it is hovering over it. They'll probably go for it while we're tapped out. That's not too bad, at least to like hit this. We have to count how many they have. It's really annoying, it doesn't just tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so 9. We're at 20. We can play this, the max, even if we mill 4 more. It's only 13. It's annoying if they have a second. It's really bad. They just like dome us then. Alright. They maybe have a second. Alright, counterspell. Not a counterspell. Alright. Probably just dead based on the fact that they went to the dome. It's only for 9 though. We're not going to play our land again. I don't think getting the Lurrus matters. I'd rather save this for like a creature. Like if they go Valiant Rescuer, Cycle, I'd much rather Heartless Act and hopefully draw another remove spell on the following turn. Or we could even Cycle. They have the second flare, they got us, but they'll go for it on upkeep or something. He'll die. Based on how carefully they tapped that too, to make sure they don't tap their red or something. First time they've done that all game, still looking rough. But I guess playing to outs too. They would do that regardless. Alright. Dead. Game 1 is the worst. We get more counter spells post board. They get some like disputes of their own, but normally board something like this. Cling is just way too it's small ball compared to like nuke. If we had something to nuke their whole yard, it would be good. But just hitting one cycler isn't gonna make a difference. Valky's pretty bad here too. Maybe Kling's just better as a cycler. Even Heartless Act just to deal with the creatures. I particularly don't like Heartless Act because of it lines up poorly against Flourishing Fox. Maybe Valky's just attacks for 2, which isn't. It's not good. It's not the worst. We board in the Shade for the same reason. It's just pressure. I'll go with Heartless Axe, but not entirely convinced. I might go Valky. Valky may be better on the play though, because we can hit their 2-drop anyway, like we did in that game. Maybe I'll go Heartless Act on the draw. I'll try that. Just maximize pressure on the play. No counterspell. We have pressure. We have an Into the Story. I think I'm going to keep. We'll have time to fire this off. We have enablers. We'll get there quick. A little awkward we can't this into this on 2. I'm probably just going to lead on Triome. Yeah, like I said, I'll just lead on the Triome here. Double Enforce. Alright, we're going to have a really aggressive draw. Hopefully we don't just kill ourselves with the Zenith Flare. But we're going to go Double Enforcer here, untap, Soaring Thought Thief. We're going to be cracking it for 8 on turn 3. We'll have milled 2, 6, 10, 12 cards at that point. So on their turn 3. This will be a close one. Maybe I could theoretically try and slow it down to make sure we get this off, but we have to get 7 cards for that anyway. We're not going to get them to 20, so like even if they resolve 1, it's not the worst deal. Like I really don't think we're going to mill. By turn 4, we'll mill that many cyclers for them. Like I said, pressure is very important, so... I love to see it. That's actually perfect because we can jam for a bunch here. Then next turn they still won't have Zenith Flare up, and then we can just leave up Stroke. We'll have them dead in 3 turns. Go to play the Awakening here. Next turn too, if they like tap out or something on their turn for a creature, we get to fire off Into the Story. That'll be nice. But pretty good draw for us. Just thankful Troke sort of, hopefully the nail in the coffin. Attack, they'll trade, cycle. It takes 6. We'll actually still, since we drew this, we can just play that next turn. We can do this and leave up this. We're probably not going to do this. Interesting. I'm just going to pass. They'll probably cycle on their turn now. At that point, I'll probably go for the Into the Story. Because if they make 1-1 here, 1-1 in their turn, they'll have a bunch of blockers anyway to not die to these. So I'd rather just gas up on cards. Currently, what the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, that tells you here when it's in the yard. Where it doesn't tell you when it's in the hand. Alright, so they have 12 cyclers. You do have to be a little careful, but barring like dispute on their side, I think we should be fine. Now I kind of just want to trade. Because if they don't have the blockers, we're good. I was going to Into the Story, but now I think I want to trade. Because they're going to take 4. They'll have to block. They'll trade for one of these. They'll have no blockers on the following turn, and they'll be dead. And a lot of times they have negates, so I really don't want to let them get to 6 mana. And this will cut a turn off the clock. So... Because now, yeah, this will have to chump. The Fox will trade. They'll go to 4. Yeah, this works out fine for us. Then we'll have them dead the next turn. Don't hate to see that. All right, that should lock up the game because it even gets us around any like dispute or negate backup from them. They manage to produce a blocker next turn. I get to 6, then negate. They go for a creature here. Could even try to dispute it. I'm not quite sure how I would do that. Just since we have it locked up in 2 with the Thought Thief. Alright, so if I dispute this, how bad is it if... How bad is it if they play another creature then? And a land... I think it's just safer to let it resolve. Like, we only lose to... Like, we have them dead in the air, we only lose to Zenith Flare. And we have Zenith Flare counter backup covered. I don't want to trade for 2 tokens, so we'll just do this. I don't think they'll be able to do anything here. Possible not thinking of a random recycling card that has some effect on the game, but they'll go for Zenith Flare, we'll stroke, and they'll concede. Ooh, I wonder. I think they even have the dispute. So nice that we have both, based on how they were tapping. No, thank you. All right, so take it down there. Honestly, I hate playing this matchup. It's so lame. I'll do what I said about swapping these now. Just not like a particularly fun matchup to play. It sort of just comes down to like a little like counter fight over the Zenith Slayers, like a little interesting, but it's kind of boring Magic. You do get some relevant decisions though, so I will say that. We'll keep. Could use a little more pressure. We have a counter. We have like a little bit of creature interaction. That's nice. Too good to ship, but I'm not like thrilled. But all right, that's a good pickup. Hopefully, all right. So I'm gonna pass. Be love if they cycle on the turn. Really happy they didn't main phase it there, because I'd like to get value out of this Heartless Act. Really not like to have to burn a drown on the Flourishing Fox. All right, so that works out perfect. Into the story, a good pickup for us too. Gonna play a little bit of a slower game than last game, obviously, but. Ooh, they work on land too. Seemed like that might be the case because their opponents kind of favored end of turn cycling for most of the match, and they were digging main phase. Playing a slower game, we have this to gas back up, but I actually like to just counter this, I think. I really don't want it to be an issue. Okay? It could really mess with our clock, our ability to get through damage. So. I don't want this to get countered. We know they have like Mystical Speed, probably negates. Only 7 cards in yard. More than happy to tap out here. Yeah, if they want to fire off a Zenith Slayer for 6, they got it. Okay. This is annoying. Maybe something I should have considered for leaving open the mana, but like I said, I really wanted to resolve that into the story. Suppose a little. I think I want to kicker this just so it's not terrible against the 1/1s. It's an actual good clock. We get a little punished by like their third improbable lines, but again, I think that's a risk I'm willing to take. They're able to choke on mana too, so I don't think they'll be able to get. I guess not. That means they have cyclers. They'll probably be able to get like 2 going a turn. Like they can get 1 on their turn, then double cycle on my turn. I'll start using removal spells to clear blockers when we have a little bit more pressure. Like here, I'm going to Lurrus end a turn. I'll Thought Thief. Ooh, they didn't double select. Very interesting. What is their hand? I feel like that may be misclicked. I don't know for sure, obviously, but just based on what the deck does, it seems really likely that they meant to double cycle there. Because even if they had a 2 mana cycle, they would have done it on their main phase to try and find the land. But that maybe might shift my play here too, because if they don't have 2 1-mana cyclers, then I want to get into 7 here. So I'm going to do this. I was thinking about getting Lurrus in play before I started using removal spells, because then it would be 10, like a 2-turn clock, but alright, Zenith Flare is currently 10. Here, they'll probably have double cycler. They'll block here. Put them to 8. So this game's looking a little tricky. All right. That's good. We have this Lurrus that's going to pick us up a lot of cards. Just looking for disruption at this point. Just need to keep punching through for a little bit of damage each turn. Any removal spell we have helps punch through damage. Any counter, less likely to lose to Zenith Flare plus counter. So I think we're still favored. This is a massive pickup to be able to pull out of this, just to make sure we don't Zenith Flare negate. I wonder if they're going to go for a flare on the Lurrus. All right. We can swing with everything. They go for a double block on Lurrus. We have lethal with Thought Thief. We haven't played a land yet, right? So we Thought Thief, Drowning Lock. We can still have a Dispute mana, right? We have 3/6. We only need 7. I guess I'd rather get an extra damage, put him to 2. I kind of might want to be able to, if they have... Alright, I'm gonna... Because we might need to crack this to draw a card, and I don't think the 1 damage is gonna matter. We'll counter it. Even if they have a second one, even if they like triple cycle into it, it's still not lethal. So I may as well counter it. The dispute will pay. I think we're going to get hit with another one. We'll crack this. We won't die, which is the good part. We'll only be they'll be down to... That would be their 3rd. They'll only be on 1 more to kill us. Alright. We'll go for this, just in case. Alright, we don't hit it, but again, not the end of the world. We're not dead. They gotta have the 4th one. They're not gonna be able to... We're pressuring them so much, we're gonna be gaining life off the lures. They're not gonna be able to kill us with the Improbable Alliance. It's really just buying time. So we just gotta dodge 4th Zenith Flare and pick up 2 counters or something, or another counter. Alright, double... That gets a little more annoying, but... We are threatening to mill them at this point, too. Alright, that's sort of a counter spell. Alright, I was really hoping to mill it just to feel a little safer. I'm going to crack here, because I'm actually fine with awakening it back, because we really just need to make sure we find counter spells. So crack. Awakening for 1, play. Alright, we'll do that. This gives us 2 looks at a counterspell. We'll still have any counterspell on our deck, plus Dispute backup if they happen to have exactly Zenith Flare counterspell. Pretty threatening clock. Let's just say they're able to produce... They could theoretically have 4 blockers. It would take some fortune on their part. With only 2 cards, I think. If they go for just the straight Zenith Flare first, our Dispute won't work. Alright, it's a land. I forgot this even does that. So they get 2 things here. Alright, we got it. Yeah, if they didn't have a way to draw, they took what? 3, 6, 9, 12? Yeah. But that a little interesting. I guess not my favorite matchup to play. It honestly gets a little very like coin flippy. Just feels kind of either you win, you're not too happy with the result, or you lose and you're not happy with the result. It's fairly like a satisfying match. You either had the counter spells or you didn't. It's definitely a good one to know though. Definitely some tricks to it. Important to know how to board. So happy to play against it for a video, but if I'm playing some Magic for fun in my free time, not the matchup I want to face. Sounds good. Don't know what we're playing against, but opponent mulligans. Much better against a creature deck, obviously, with double removal spell, but honest, fine against basically everything. Does that change what I do? I don't think so. I still just want to get the tap line down. Don't want to mess up our curve. Not even positive if I want to play this on black yet, too. Mono red. I saw this deck's been picking up a little bit. Same thing. I actually just want to get the tap land down. I don't think this match was bad at all. Again, I'm really pretty adamant about it. I really think Rogues is the best position deck in the metagame. It's just really powerful. I don't think the hate is quite there at the moment. It really just comes down to you got to play it well. I'm not even claiming I'm the best at it. I do think I play the deck fine. All right. They go on attack. This puts them to 7 cards. It turns on into the story. We do risk taking a bunch of damage. Alternative could be Low Mage Domination, the Ferdman Champion, pass. Doesn't really leave them with particularly good attacks. Actually, maybe I'll do that, because this play is really bad against Torben. Let's just say we attack our plans into the story. We get Torben. We take 5, 8. Then we have a lot of stuff to clean up. I'll play it like this. A little bit safer. I really would have liked to get the Into Story out of our hand there. Only a couple plays I would really punish us for it. Overall, I think I feel a little more content doing this. Ooh, it's annoying. They have a human and a not human. They're going to get to fire this off. It's a little rough. Yeah, like if this was their play, I really wish I did this, but... I want to deal with this, so we're going to do this. I'm going to take the 3 to get the Lurrus into our hand. That's what I've been thinking about, but I think it's definitely worth it. Possibly they had something to do there. We obviously signaled we had interaction by shocking ourselves. Alright, so they have an Embercleave. How do we play around Embercleave? We do this, we take 10 if we crack. I guess now we can't crack because these will trade, but this says we'll have first strike damage then too. Yeah, I really wish my play was maybe right, but the way it played out, I really wish I got this off on the last turn. Is this the best way to block? Yeah, I think so. We're going to take 4 and 9, go down to 2. These will trade. We'll just have to deal with this then. I'm attacking with Rune Crab, so brutal. We could Lurrus here, but I don't think that does anything good. We'll have to deal with this. We have to enter the story into Bloodchief's Thirst, and then a blocker, and an untapped land. So a pretty specific 3-card combo we need. Yeah, there's no... We Lurrus, we can get this, we crack, but then there's nothing we can draw. Alright, Bloodchief's Thirst, untapped land, blocker. Alright. Basically none of it. We don't die if they decide not to fire up the Haven. I don't think they ever don't do that. As our opponent has some knowledge of what their cards do. Could do something like this. Could cut one of these, but for one a bunch, it is important to have ways to actually pull away. Could cut a crab. They do become a liability at some point. They're decent blockers and good enablers for these. I'll try this. The Robber the Rich turn was kind of rough for us. I guess I really wish we just entered the story, but I think it was a close call. I'll keep this hand. It's not the best, but I think it's a little too good to ship. If this matchup does become more popular, probably some stuff we can do to tweak it. I'm not super thrilled with the current list against it. It's definitely not a bad matchup. It's super winnable, but it's a little more swingy than I'd like it to be. Go ahead and take one. I'm not going to waste a removal spell on a 1/1. Alright, yeah, they're not even doing it for fear of Soaring Thought Thief. Do this now. Just need to draw. I don't know what land I want to play. We have a backup plan if we mill Phoenix or Nox. Decent pickup. What embarrassing we lose this game considering they're not doing anything, but we're also not doing anything. It's definitely closer than it seems. That's good for us, at least. We're gonna mill some stuff, but they're stuck on lands. We'll be able to get something going. Alright, we can take 2. Signals like Bone Crusher or something, or weird that they chose not to attack the entire time until they had their second land, maybe Fire Prophecy. I don't know if that's a card they board. Yeah, Bone Crusher, as I suspected. I will counter that. It's the 7th card for Instance Story too. It's good for us. That's fine. I could respond. I could kill a Fireblade Charger, so this is only a 3. So when we kill it, they only get 1 token instead of 2. But I think I'd rather just Heartless Act it on tap into the story. The 1/1s won't be a big deal. Alright, this is a nice pickup. This is someone I was thinking of too. If this matchup picks up more, we can go to a 3rd one of these or something over 3rd low mage domination. Could attack. I really don't want to risk the double block. Like, it wouldn't even be that bad for us, but just since we have this to clean up everything anyway. I'm happy to block you. They'll Umber Cleave. We'll just Heartless Act, whatever. That one. Just start grabbing them here. We have the Clangs to clean up anything dangerous. Always Crippling Fear Crab. See what we mill. Play the one from our hand because the Robber the Rich. Probably end up doing the other one end of turn anyway. We'll see about that though. Could just fire off this here. Considering the next turn's probably just equipped anyway. And I want to get the lures going next turn. So yeah, we'll just do this here. And 27 cards. Should be able to mill them out pretty easily. Oh, that's annoying. Go ahead and play this. We can just take it. We could do some sort of like block, but I want to keep the Enforcer in play. Like to soak up damage, we could just trade the Enforcer and throw some crabs in front of it. Upkeep Bone Crusher or something. Could just let it resolve. Like I could just Enforcer here. Let's just start with Enforcer, see what we mill. Okay. I think I like the way I board it. I don't think I'm going to change anything. Yeah, we'll run it back. Crippling Fear, love it. Keep. All right. Just gonna play this and pass. A little awkward. They're board against Crippling Fear, where I don't really want to have these out when we kill this, because then I can kill this. Also, this is a rogue, so I think I'm actually gonna kill this now. Really just don't want them getting cards. This will clean up other stuff later too. Yeah, I'm fine just doing it like this. Honestly, fine. Like I'll just trade here. Can hold on to this. Okay. Crippling Fear here. We'll lose our Merfolk Wind Robber. We'll go to 14, but game will be looking good for us after that. Oh wait, is it? Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that's how it worked. Because it dies with 0 power. I thought it would use last known information. That's interesting. I actually didn't know that's how that worked. That's actually cool. Works out really well for us. Basically can't lose now. Not that we were going to be in good shape regardless, but... I guess their hand's like Goldspan Dragons. The kind of weird they just 4th land there. You Shatter Skull. Yeah. Pretty easy to deduce that's what they have. It's got to be like Embercleave or Goldspan Dragons, because they wouldn't play Shatter Skull Smashing over a different land if they had lands, but they don't have a play, so it's clearly just plays they can't make. Could be removal spells too, I guess, but... Sort of always awkward sometimes when Crab's a liability like this, but I like that we have the Cling, so safe to sort of pressure them on that front too. Alright, that's the Goldspan Dragon, we suspect it. Good pickup. Was actually going to be a little bit of a problem, so I'm pretty lucky and happy to draw an answer. I haven't seen like an Ox yet, which is kind of nice. That's a good one. Probably just gonna end up attack, probably domination this, and then have Clang if we mill anything relevant. I managed to avoid doing so even. Alright, and we went. Alright, so win both matchups. Like I said, the red matchup I think is going to pick up a bit. I saw some people have been playing it. I like the matchup. Like you saw, Crippling Fear is really good there. If it's a concern, I would maybe look into adding another one of those. I think I liked having the extra domination. Not quite sold on it yet. Really just for stealing Croxes was the main reason to add the third. For now, I really like my list. I unfortunately will not be playing the SCG this weekend, but I highly recommend it to anyone who is. I think this deck is great. If you have the reps in with it, I think it's probably, I would say, the strongest choice. I posted my full sideboard guide is available on my Patreon. I'll put the link in the description. You guys can check that out. It's at AndyJMTG. You can follow me on Twitter at TheBetterJessup, and please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching, everyone.